Hello, everyone. Hi, Ibi, and
Hi, Costa.
welcome to another session into Gene Keys to explore these magical keys and to how they can open us up into awakening. Today, we're going to look into Gene Key 9, and it's the shadow of inertia that goes into the gift of determination and reaches the acidic realm of invincibility. And it also happens to be the programming partner of the 16th key, which is something that we've contemplated and explored together. And we can see how they can align as we progress in this journey of contemplation. So, inertia is really about when we feel that the environment around us with our small details tends to overcome us. So, it tames us rather than we're taming it, and we feel succumbed by it. So we're either reluctant to make changes because we've, in some level, given up on the inside, or we're drastically trying to escape and defer things and go around things to get away from this energy because we don't know how to use it. And it also has its links and its ties to Gene Key 26, which is about the taming power of the great, and you can see how these coexist together. So invincibility makes one become invisible, and invisibility makes one invincible. And we can see this also from the individual to the collective. So the rise of consciousness that we're seeing here today in the world is about bringing a wide array of quality of consciousness to the collective. And when that happens, then you become invincible. And so the individual becomes invisible in that state because it's going to goal or it's going towards a dream. And and this is what we see here when it comes to the gift level. And and so yeah, just to go with the shadow, the inertia is also something that you can fall victim of by not having a dream. You become sort of mechanical in the sense that everything around you is you're identified with through trivia and through the small minor things in life that you take as if it's the main drama of your life, but actually it's just inessential. And so the key thing is to make sure that every small act that you do is there is a love or a dream or something that you feel that's alive, and it's done with intention, because when you go through those different steps, it will then, you won't see where the future is taking you, but it's aligning yourself to somewhere where it's going to be of service to others. So I just want to leave it there, and Ibi, if you want to take on.
Yes, thank you, Costa, for opening up this energy of the nine. I have it in my profile with the line 3, and it was a very big teacher for me. So this ninth key holds. It's a reservoir of energy. It's a sacral key, and it's meant to provide the energy to um, understand and find, recognize new patterns that can guide us into the future and establish new ways of understanding the truth. And the nine can be powerful in both ways. It can get us stuck into a place, or it can um, lead us into moving the mountains. And it's interesting that the I Ching name is taming, the taming power of the small. And the two elements that are forming this hexagram are the wind and the heaven. So the 57 and the 1. And it is in this first step, the whole power lies in taking the first step, because taking the first step is actually becoming sensitive like putting the attention into a small point, into a small thing, one little step, and then opening up with sensitivity to what we find in that step. And the 57 is the penetrating power of the spirit that needs um, the attention to go to that subtle place, which is actually the invisible energy and space between the atoms. So until we are looking at the mountain as something that cannot be conquered, something big and material and immovable, and that can be our dreams, something we want to change, a habit, or our circumstances, and or follow a dream. It's the same thing. The first step needs to move the energy from um, the other end of the channel, from the still point. So otherwise, the nine can move you into this restlessness. There is energy, but you don't know where to concentrate it, where to focus it. And you start doing a lots of superficial steps that, but they don't lead anywhere because there is a sequence. There is this ring of light. The ninth is the power to anchor energy and to move the anchor light and to magnetize light, and the power that leads, and the knowledge and the data that are in the light, to anchor it in one point, and to then um, have the courage to not know how the whole journey will be, but to trust in that step and to open yourself to the unknown, to the wisdom of the 48 that is connected to the 16. And that will give the energy for and the determination to continue. And in the ring of light, we have also the fifth jinki, which requires patience. So if after the first step you didn't find the satisfaction or the resolving of the quest you embarked on, you need this patience because um, the eternal is showing up when you open this sensitivity, when you use the feminine softness, the gentleness, the kindness, the power of a small act that comes from love or that comes from kindness and care. And this is part of in human design, is part of the circuit of the logic understanding, and is meant to provide the energy to lead us into the future and to understand or to find new ways to understand the truth. But it can be very tricky when we not start from the right place, and the right place is this pure intention, this purity of the intention. And that's the seed. And also, it has the power to, or we can use this archetype to tame anything. It's a process that's contained in the wisdom of this key that can help us break any bad habit that is um, sabotaging our physical body, or it can tame the emotional intensity and can channel that energy from the emotional wave into helping us to feel more, to be more sensitive. And also, it can tame the hectic power of the mind um, by approaching this understanding through finding the right rhythm. So, the fifth jinki helps us to have the patience to go from one step to the next, because the next step is revealed through the first step, is not visible. It's the 26 makes it invisible, but when you put the attention and you concentrate, you open up to see what's in the first step, it will lead you to the next step. And the fifth jinki, then you can start seeing new patterns. And the fifth jinki, with the patience of continuing this journey of small steps, will establish a rhythm. And that rhythm will open up into a well of something that's new and a wisdom that is unknown until in the moment, until it is accessed in the moment. And that will give the determination to repeat, to establish a ritual, or the power of a ritual, and the power of showing up um, and provide the energy for the next step.
Yeah, it's like the ritual, the power of repetition, or with you mentioned about patience. It's also when I think of Jinky 5, I think of also the timeless realm and starting from space. In this case, with Jinky 9, it's about the inner space because it's infinitesimal. So the more you divide things, the more it actually becomes infinite because it never ends. And the same thing happens in the other end of the spectrum with the Jinky 26. So you have space, and the space is what connects you to everything else in the world, or to everyone in the world too, and then it leads you to a place where there is no time, where there is no body, where there is no thing, where there is nowhere. So that is what I see as when you share about the rhythm and the momentum being built, because you're aligning yourself to a higher intelligence that is in that field, like the 0 point field that some fringe scientists talk about, or that Siddhic realm of where everything is interconnected. So, and then that's where all the light is. And if I also look at it from the perspective of the keys around the ninth, again, we've got the eighth. So when inertia, you have the mechanical, way of feeling you're mediocre because you're not connecting yourself to a higher realm. We're all meant to be rebels, but when we're maybe fighting the wrong cause, or we don't know what we're fighting, and then therefore it's the mind that takes us over. And then of course you have the 10th with the case of being obsessed because the mind again is taking over. And so when we go into this determination, or the invisible realm, you're going beyond the form, because the actions that come from beyond the form is where it's leading you to reconnect back to oneness again. And yeah, so this key is very, very active. It's all about action, and it's all about bringing something into form by using your body, using maybe the mental, um, or even the emotional, but that will then shift and um, sort of keep the mind subdued, because the action becomes more alive and more powerful because it's connecting itself to a deeper source, to a deeper truth. and then there from there you find what is alive for you, and then you find those dots that start to connect more and more, all because you've given yourself space to come from a place where it's been given itself time to be honored, and then you pass through that gate, that narrow gate, and then that narrow gate opens up to the expansion of consciousness, of intelligence itself. um
Mm.
Ibi, I was also wondering as well if you'd like to share your story with me of what we spoke about before on this call about your friends, of how they were using the keys with their sort of work, um, from the shadow, and how it came into the gift. If you wouldn't mind sharing that, I think it'd be a nice, make
Yes,
it relevant.
I would like to share something that happened to me last week, actually, and it's on the same message of the nine. It was active um, at the other end of the 52. So I have these two keys, and so I came back from the UK back home, and when I entered, I saw my garden was like the trees were so big and there were so many leaves and everything grew in 2 months that I didn't recognize. I liked the green. I liked um, the trees taking over and everything, but I didn't realize that the one of the effects that happened was it was full of ticks. So it was a tick invasion, and a tick is the shadow of the nine. So as I was moving through the garden, I was just collecting all the time ticks, and it became very, very annoying and dangerous. So my first reaction was, wow, this overwhelm. And my first reaction was, I will hire a company and I will use a killer or insecticide and just make kill all the ticks. And then, as I was sitting with this and contemplating, I realized that tick is a messenger, and it came with a big, big message to show me the places where I am stuck and where I stay in this inertia of looking of all this overgrown vegetation and green and life force that accumulated in my garden and in my belly, and not doing the first step to tame it, to establish boundaries, clear boundaries. And as I was studying the ticks, it happens to be a very resilient and a very intelligent creature. They have the power to sit and to resist for months without blood. And as soon as a mammal or a person is going by, they just have this technique of just not jumping, is questing for a host. And as I was researching this thing and having in mind that I don't want to kill the other insects, I don't want to harm the trees and everything that's alive in my garden, I realized that the thing that were making possible um, for them to proliferate so much, it was enough, not enough light anymore because of the trees. So the ring of light, it was not enough light. It was overgrown. It was everything in the shades. So I started pruning, one step at a time, one bush at a time, one branch at a time, and I brought back the light in my garden. And everything changed. Now I don't have any more the ticks. I don't meet them. They don't jump on me anymore. So, and one of the biggest thing I had to do, it was to cut a huge branch from the cherry tree. So I had to connect with the cherry tree and to ask for permission and to research in which way, in all these details, what would be the perfect temperature and timing and humidity to cut that branch in order to be a clean cut and in order for the cherry tree to be able to move the energy towards healing. And just going through all these steps and details gave me so much empowerment. And now, looking at my garden 1 week later, it's full of light and it's full of insects, and everything that is alive has um, the organic rhythm. And so that was one of my recent um, interaction and experience with the ninth and the power of the small steps, and how actually the nine is inviting us not to react. Everything that's happening, we are so used to change things only from the reaction. So something that is attacking us or is making us uncomfortable, or um, and we react. We just project out this pressure that's coming from the root to react. But actually, if you take a moment to restrain and to restrain that energy, and to find the still point, it will open up the place where you can anchor the light. It will open your DNA and will bring the light in, because in the end the ninth is actually is like focusing and anchoring points of light in the earth through our experience, through our um, power of concentration. And also this key, what I noticed is made to be of service for the others, because people who are around me and people who are around those who are carrying this key, they have the power to make the others remain determined and to be able to concentrate on the right thing and create enough patience and determination to discover these new patterns and to create these new habits, and to find the faith um, to continue, or the trust to continue. So yes, I didn't tell the story with my friends, but this was very alive this week uh, in me, and it was so transformative. I realized how many times I made myself powerless because of this inertia, because of this looking at the problem, but feeling that I don't have the power to change it. I don't have it's taking too much, and it's such a big mountain to move, and maybe my sixth line was always focused on the end of the process, and looking for and ignoring the steps and the joy that can come from each step, because that's an essential point. The 58 is providing this joy that is in each step, and actually that is the secret of the success of the whole journey. And finding gratitude, feeling gratitude for each small victory instead of looking at those who have success and saying to yourself, I'm too small, I'm too powerless, I'm too weak, I'm no one. So, yes.
Nice, beautifully said, Ibi. Um, it's always when you feel that something is alive, that small step where you mentioned that it helps connect people, remind them of their gifts that they can bring out to the world because it's all relatable. 99% of us is all equal, in fact, whether it's physical at least. Um, my internet is a bit unstable, but yeah, I just want to
I
just
can,
maybe wrap it up there, just in case I'm looking at time. Am I frozen to you?
no, I can see you
Can you hear me?
and hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening in, and if you got any questions, again, just leave comments below, and we'll continue this trend for contemplating on the remaining keys of the gene keys.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And don't forget that that love that is in each detail, and one small detail can even change and turn your life into something else. So yes, see you next time. Thank you, Costa.